So today we are going to start with quinoline, that is benzopyridine, because your pyridine is attached, your benzene is attached to the B phase of pyridine. That's why it is called benzopyridine. Whereas in case of isoquinol, it is benzo-C-pyridine because it is benzene is attached to the C phase of your pyridine. That's why it is called benzo-C-pyridine. These are some of the chemical properties. C9H7. Molecular weight 129, appearance yellowish oil, density 1.093, boiling point 237, solubility slightly in water but soluble in organic solvents. It was extracted from coal tar as well as crude oil. Application: it is used for in manufacturing of dyes, hydroquinoline sulfates and niacin, as an solvent for resins and terpenes. Also preparation of 8-hydroxyquinol, which is a versatile chelating agent and precursor for pesticides, also used for the manufacture of antiviral agents. 2 and 4 methyl derivatives are the precursor of cyanide derivatives, whereas your oxidation product, that is quinolinic acid, that is pyridine 2,3 dicarboxylic acid, they are the precursor for herbicides. So these were some of the applications of your quinolines. Now let's go for the properties. Okay, aromatic. Why it is aromatic? Because it is sp2 hybridized, planar, with 10 electrons, 9 coming from carbon and 1 coming from nitrogen. It follows Huckel's rules. They are perpendicular to each other and they are delocalized. So planar, conjugated, Huckel's rule, everything, it's been done. That's why your quinoline is your aromatic in nature. They have called by two names. One is 1-azanaphthalene because there is a nitrogen substitution at the first position of your naphthalene. That's why it is called 1-azanaphthalene. And benzopyridine because it is benzene is attached to the B phase of your pyridine. It's slightly basic and does show hydrogen bonding because of the lone pair of electrons which are present in the quinoline ring. So these are the resonating structures. If you, first resonating structures is in your benzene ring, then it gets transferred to your pyridine ring. Similarly, these are the case of your quinoline and isoquinoline. Now let's go for the synthesis. Very important, scrop synthesis. So what are the reagents used in scrop synthesis? You take aniline, you treat it with glycerol in presence of concentrated esters followed by nitrobenzene and heat it. Okay, the reagents used are aniline, glycerol, H2SO4, nitrobenzene. Okay, and you get your quinoline. So you take glycerol, it gets converted when you heat it in presence of an acid, that is concentrated H2SO4, it gets converted to acrolein. This acrolein, when it gets treated with the aniline, first of all you get an adduct which undergoes cyclization followed by your oxidation in presence of nitrobenzene. So this is basic thing. Now how does it happen? Let's go step by step. The first step is formation of your acrolein. So your acid attacks on your OH, that is secondary OH, okay, to form your double bond OH diol. Okay, this again gets the OH, the terminal free OH gets removed. Okay, and you get your acrolein with the loss of 2 molecules. So in this first step there is loss of 2 water molecules. There is loss of 2 water molecules to form your acrolein. Okay, first is central, middle one OH is removed, then your terminal OH is removed, and there is an shifting of electrons and you get your acrolein. That is the first step. First step of your scrop synthesis is your acrolein. Now other steps. Okay, now the nitrogen of your aniline attacks on your acrolein, okay, double bond, and you get your conjugated addition product. Conjugated addition, nitrogen has a positive charge, and now this undergoes ketoenol tautomerism. With the loss of proton, it undergoes ketoenol tautomerism. Double bond, your OH and double bond OH gets converted to an keto form. So your enol form gets converted to your keto form. Okay. Now the next step is protonation. Again, before there was loss of proton, again gain of proton. Okay. So your carbonyl O gets protonated. This is followed by intramolecular. If you see, there is an intramolecular. Nitrogen gives the lone pair of electron to the benzene ring. The one of the double bond from the benzene ring attacks on your carbonyl carbon, and you get your intramolecular cyclase product. This is followed by, so this is aromatization that takes place over here. So there is a loss of proton over here. If you can see, to get aromatized, there is loss of proton to get aromatized. Okay, and in doing so, again your nitrogen gets positive charge. Okay, the next step is, again in acidic medium, your OH gets protonated. The OH gets protonated, it is lost by the loss of proton. Okay, so in this step there is a lot of there is dehydration that occurs. This is followed by, so as the dehydration occurs, there is a loss of proton. Okay, and you get your 1,2 dihydroquinoline. You get a 1,2 at one position, nitrogen, and at the second carbon there is saturation. That's why it is known as 1,2 dihydropyridine. And this undergoes oxidation. This undergoes oxidation in presence of nitrobenzene to give you your final product, that is your quinoline. So this is the overall steps involved in your Scrop synthesis. Okay, so this is crop synthesis. First is conjugated addition followed by loss of proton. This will get transformed to enol form, which tautomerize to keto forms. This is followed by protonation of your carbonyl carbon, which leads to your intramolecular addition. Intramolecular, the nitrogen gives its lone pair of electron to the benzene ring, followed by the double bond attacks on from the benzene ring attacks on the carbonyl carbon, leads to formation of OH. The next step is loss of proton to undergo aromatization. Loss of proton to undergo aromatization. This is followed by your dehydration. The acid attacks on your OH. It undergoes dehydration to give 1,2 dihydroquinoline. And the last step is oxidation in presence of nitrobenzene to give your quinoline. So this is the steps mechanism involved in your crop synthesis. The next method is Dobner-Miller synthesis. Dobner-Miller synthesis. So what happens in this case? So in this case, your aniline reacts with alpha beta dicarbonyl compound. Alpha beta. So there is unsaturation at the alpha and beta position of a carbonyl compound. So in presence of acid, it undergoes condensation reaction, conjugated by followed by cyclization to give your quinoline. So there is a conjugated addition followed by cyclization, similar to that of your crop synthesis, and you get your quinoline. So aniline treated with alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound to form your quinoline. That is your Dobner-Miller synthesis. Okay, you get your substituted quinoline moiety. So what is the next? So third method is Frid-Lehner synthesis. Frid-Lehner synthesis. What is this reaction? Here, and 2-amino benzaldehyde. So what you have? You got an 2-amino benzaldehyde. You treat it with an ketone. Okay, you treat it with an ketone. Okay, in presence of acid, nucleophilic attack followed by your. This is you treat it with an acid. It undergoes your cyclization reaction to give your corresponding quinoline derivative. Okay. So that is your Frid-Lehner's. What is Frid-Lehner's reaction? And 2-amino benzaldehyde. It undergoes condensation with your ketones to give your, in presence of an acid, to give your quinoline. So this is the way where you can prepare various substituted quinolines. Okay, you can prepare 2-phenylquinoline and all with the help of Frid-Lehner's synthesis, where you take 2-amino benzaldehyde, treat it with the ketone. in presence of an acid, you get a substituted quinoline. So this were the synthesis of your quinolines. Now let's go for the reaction. Let's go for the reaction. It undergoes electrophilic addition reaction. So since it has got a free nitrogen, which as you seen in the pyridine, okay, as you have seen in the pyridine, it also will form an electrophilic addition reaction in presence of acid to form quinazolium salt chloride, and it also can react with methyl iodide to form 1-methyl quinolinium iodide, similar to that of your pyridine. So that's why if you know the reactions of pyridine, you can write the reactions of your quinoline and isoquinolines also, because they will act as a pyridine over here. Now electrophilic substitution reaction. Electrophilic substitution reaction. As you know, pyridine is not activator. It's not an activator. It is a deactivator, and it has also a benzene ring attached to it. So the nitration will prefer at the benzene ring. So your electrophilic substitution reaction will more be preferred at your benzene ring rather than your pyridine ring. So mostly you will get your substitution at 5th and the 8th position. You get a substitution at the 5th and the 8th position. Remember, okay, at the to the benzene ring, at the para position, at the 1,4 position of your para benzene, you will undergo an electrophilic substitution reaction. Mostly it undergoes your electrophilic substitution reaction at your benzene ring, not at your pyridine ring. So this and these are the products. So in bromine in presence of ALC, these are some of the. So remember at which position? 5 and 8. Basically it undergoes electrophilic substitution, aromatic substitution reaction at 5 and 8. Why? Because benzene gets easily added to the nitro by the electrophile, whereas pyridine it is difficult. Okay, pyridine it is difficult. It undergoes reduction. So in presence of tin and HCl, 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrahydroquinoline. So when you take reaction with tin and HCl, so your pyridine ring gets reduced to 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrahydroquinoline. Whereas if you treat it with your platinum, hydrogen and at high temperature, your entire ring gets reduced. You get a decahydroquinoline. You get a decahydroquinoline. This is your reduction reaction. Okay. So in presence of tin HCl, only your pyridine ring gets reduced, whereas in case of platinum and hydrogen gas, at high temperature, your entire quinoline ring gets reduced. Next is your oxidation, as I said, in case of aluminum oxide, in case of alkaline KMnO4, it undergoes oxidation to give pyridine 2,3-dicarboxylic acid, which is unstable, which undergoes decarboxylation to give nicotinic acid, and a nicotinic acid is a precursor for many organic reactions. Okay, so oxidation product of your quinoline is 2,3-dicarboxylic pyridine 2,3-dicarboxylic acid, which undergoes decarboxylation to give nicotinic acid. So these are the oxidation product. So it undergoes Chichi-Babin reaction is an example for nucleophilic addition reaction, nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in case of your quinoline, it undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction at the 2nd position, similar to that of your pyridine, to give 2-aminoquinoline. In place of KOH, when you heat it at high temperature, it will form 2-hydroxyquinoline, and similarly in case of butyl it will use 2-N-butyl quinoline. So these are some of the nucleophilic substitution reaction shown by, because it acts as a pyridine is associated with it. That's why it undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction to give the product at the 2nd position. Okay, the 2-hydroxyquinoline, 2-aminoquinoline, and 2-N-butyl quinoline. So these are the products that are formed. So drugs, yeah, You can remember some chloroquine, quinoline antibiotics, that is ciprofloxacin, that is your quinolone, that is a quinolone. Why? Because it contains an double bond at the fourth position. Okay, carbonyl group at the they are examples. Your ciprofloxacin, norfloxacin and all, they are the example. 8-hydroxyquinoline, which is used as an antiseptic agent. 8-hydroxyquinoline, it's used as an antiseptic. Okay, so these are some of the examples. They have got wide variety of it. It can also be used in many of your anti-malarial, anthelmintics. Everywhere this quinoline moiety is present. Now let's go for the next one, that is isoquinoline. So what is this isoquinoline? Similar to that of your quinoline here, but the nitrogen is at the second position. So it is known as 2-azanaphthalene and benzo-C-pyridine, because it is attached at the C phase of your pyridine is attached to your benzene. It is also similar, it is sp2 hybridized, same thing as that of your quinoline. 10 electrons delocalized, 9 coming from your carbon. They are conjugated and delocalized. They also follow your Huckel's rule. They are weakly basic. It also undergoes hydrogen bonding. The properties are similar to that of your quinoline. Now let's go for the synthesis. First method. Okay, you take 2-aryl ethylamide, that is 2-benzene phenyl ethylamine. You react with acetyl chloride. So amine reacts with acetyl chloride, you get your acylated product. That when you heat it with your phosphorus pentoxide. So phosphorus pentoxide it undergoes cyclization. It undergoes cyclization by dehydration process. Okay, so that is your first step. Okay, what happens then when you treat it with your palladium carbon? Okay, so it gets converted to your isoquinoline, loss of your proton. It's not reduction, it is oxidation. It undergoes oxidation to give your isoquinoline. So that this is your product. Okay, this is how you can prepare your isoquinoline. First method. Second method is Pomeranz-Fritz synthesis. Pomeranz-Fritz synthesis. You take your benzaldehyde, you treat it with 2,2-dialkoxyethylamine. 2,2-dialkoxyethylamine in acidic medium. It undergoes cyclization to give your isoquinoline. So what you take? Benzaldehyde, you treat it with 2,2-dialkoxyethylamine and you get your, in presence of acid, it will give your corresponding. So these are nothing but your acetals which are destabilized in order to give your aldehyde or a ketone. Basically over here it is an aldehyde. Okay, it undergoes your first is your nucleophilic attack on your carbonyl, followed by cyclization in acidic medium to give you your corresponding isoquinol. So that is Pomeranz-Fritz synthesis. Now let's go for the reaction. So it is basic, similar to that. Now this is of your quinoline. So now let's go for the reactions of isoquinoline. Similar to that of your quinoline also, it undergoes your electrophilic addition reaction, similar product. Moreover, it can react with acetyl chloride to form 2-acyl isoquinolium chloride. Okay, with acyl chloride also it can form an 2-acyl quinolinium chloride. So that is your electrophilic addition reaction. So similarly, as we said, it will undergo an electrophilic substitution reaction on the benzene ring. Okay, it undergo electrophilic substitution at the benzene ring also at the 5th and the 8th position. Okay, because the nitrogen, as I explained, in nitrogen in your quinoline and isoquinoline are deactivating effect on the ring, substitution for your electrophilic substitution. So in this case, however, the substitution can take place on the benzene ring, part of your. So this is why the electrophilic substitution reaction takes place at the 5th and the 8th position of your benzene ring. So similarly, nitration at the 5th and the 8th, sulfonation at the 5th position, and bromination at the 5th position. So this is how the reaction takes place. So if you see, the reactions are same, only thing is the position of your nitrogens are differing. The products are at the same position. Now the reduction. So at different conditions there will be different products. So in case if you take diethyl ammonium hydride, only 1,2-dihydroisoquinoline is formed. Okay, see the difference. When you take diethyl aluminum hydride, only 1,2. If you take sodium and ethanol, you are 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrahydroquinoline. And if you say platinum, in this case you get 5, 6, 7, 8 tetrahydroisoquinoline. So these are the various reduction product. So either 1, 2, 4 and your benzene ring. So these are some of the products of your reduction. Oxidation. So in case of your oxidation, in KMnO4 you get phthalic acid and your pyridine 3,4 dicarboxyl. Why it is called 3,4? So at the benzene ring it gets removed to give you your pyridine 3,4 dicarboxyl. And in case of your neutral KMnO4, that is alkaline. In case of neutral KMnO4, it cyclizes to form an phthalimide. You get a phthalimide. So these are the products, oxidation products of your isoquinoline. These are the oxidative products, oxidation products of your isoquinoline. Similarly, in this case, nucleophilic aromatic substitution reaction to give you your Chichibabin reaction. So you get your, in this case, it attacks next to your nitrogen. So at one position you get your 1-amino isoquinoline. You get your 1-amino isoquinoline. So the amine gets attached to the first position, not at the third. Okay. As we said, at the 8th position, which will be formed. But if you see, just see at one example. But if the same nitration is conducted with the nitric acid and acetic anhydride, your nitration takes place, and heated, your nitration takes place at the 3rd position. In case of your, at the meta position, if you say of the pyridine ring, and at the 4th position of your isoquinoline. See the condition. If you take it with acetic anhydride and HNO3 nitric acid at high temperature, nitration takes place at the benzene. So this is one of the difference. Okay. So alkylation, that is your addition reaction. So some of the drugs containing your isoquinoline moiety, that is papaverine, that is antispasmodic agent on smooth muscle. You get an dimethoxyquinoline, which is attached to by a methylenic group, which is attached by a methylene, that is CS2, to a dimethoxy benzene ring. Okay, 1,2-dimethoxy-benzene ring. So that is your example, papaverine, that is used as an antispasmodic on your smooth muscles. Noscapine, that is an antitussive agent. Okay, that also contains a cough suppressant, that also contains an isoquinoline moiety, that contains an isoquinoline moiety. Okay, so these are the drugs which are used in the which contains your isoquinoline moiety, which are the drugs which contains isoquinoline moiety.